relax.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love potatoes? Personally, I rank them at about an 8 or a 9. They are so versatile and we can eat them so many different ways. Lucky for us though, we have other foods we can eat in the case that our potato storage goes down. As for the Irish, back in the mid-1800s, they weren't as fortunate. They were either poor, starving, or possibly even dead when they went through one of the worst agricultural disasters in history, the Irish potato famine. Once again, lucky for us, we have developed new technologies in farming that allows us to not ever have to go through another disaster like the Irish potato famine. I don't know about you, but I love to eat, so I'm very thankful that we've come up with these new practices in farming. Today, we are going to discuss what the Irish potato famine is, why it happened, and the new practices that we've developed from this. So first off, the Irish potato famine started in 1845, mostly in the areas within the western part of the country, such as Connaught or Munster. Basically, the Irish potato famine caused great illnesses and death because of a bacterial blight that the potatoes developed. Many families either fled the country or they died. Once again, it caused many illnesses and death, and altogether from that, about 1 million people were lost. Another 2 million fled the country, hoping that they could find a better life as well. The population altogether dropped from around 3 to 4 million people, which is a huge amount. So the Irish basically only ate potatoes, milk, and very minimal meat, which means that potatoes was their main food source. So because of this, they only planted potatoes, and sadly, they only planted one variety. Years and years later, after this has happened, they discovered that the potatoes had developed a disease called Phytophthora infestans, which is a water mold that affects not only the actual potato itself under the ground, but also the leaves on top and the edible roots that the potatoes grow. And while this was happening, this is an example of what the leaves were doing. So they start curling and they start turning black. So because they had no different diversity and potatoes was literally the only thing that they ate, they continued to eat these potatoes even whenever they weren't looking the best and they probably shouldn't have, which is what caused a lot of the illnesses and a lot of the deaths that happened besides just people starving. So today, basically what we do is we like to diversify our crops, which means that we plant more than one thing. So we might plant both wheat and corn instead of just wheat or just corn. That way, if something happens and a blight like this happens again, we're able to have extra food so that we don't starve. Another thing that we do is we now genetically modify our crops. A lot of people are scared of GMOs, but literally they're just trying to make sure that we have enough food, and not to mention they've been proven to not be harmful. So a cool thing is that there's now 3 new varieties of potatoes that they've developed over the years that are not susceptible to Phytophthora infestans, which is pretty amazing for the people in Ireland, as that they still have this problem. So, because of the newer, smarter farming technologies that we have, we never have to worry about another modern day famine again. Today, we discuss the Irish potato famine, what it actually was, why it happened, and the new farming practices that we've gotten from it. Eating is a great necessity that we have in life. It helps us flourish, it helps us grow, and it helps us thrive. And the best way possible that we can do that is what we need to do, which is why we have GMOs and we have the new technologies that we do. So the next time that you eat a potato, whether it be mashed, fried, or even baked, think about the Irish and the simple little mistake that they made that could be saving your life. Thank you.